Hello, everyone, and welcome to race number 5 of 29 here in the 1991 Throwbacks. And what a season we've had so far, at least in the first 4 races. We've got tons of stories. Rusty Wallace looking to jump out in dominating fashion with his new owner, Roger Penske. We've got Ken Schrader. He's led the most laps so far this season. However, he has been unable to close out the victory in either of the 2 races that he led the most laps in. We'll see if Schrader will have a little bit more luck going into this race. Ernie Irvan, of course, the only driver to finish in the top 10 in all 4 races to this point in the season. We'll see if any of these storylines come into play and many more as we head into the TranSouth 500 here at Darlington. Take a look at the qualifying times. And it looks like, well, Rusty Wallace is going to be right back where he's looking to pick right back up where he left off. Another pole here at Darlington. As we've got a very interesting top 10 in starting order just in general. So you can see here, Rusty Wallace is on the pole. We've got Bill Elliott in the 2nd position. Mark Martin in the 3rd position. Ken Schrader in 4th. Tim Richmond in 5th. Alan Kowicki 6th. Ernie Irvan 7th. Dale Earnhardt in 8th. We've got Phil Parsons in 9th. And Sterling Marlin will round out the top 10 to start this race here at Darlington. Now, Darlington, of course, is a very difficult track. It's a very narrow track, not a lot of room for passing. The grip is not all that great here, and of course, this track is notoriously difficult on tires. It always produces some kind of great racing here in the Throwbacks, though between the start and finish, we'll find out. Here's the command. You can hear the engines firing up as the cars are ready to roll off. Here in the wide turns number 3 and 4, heading to the start and finish line. Pace car will pull off here, turn number 4. As they come down, and they will come to the green flag here to start the race. The TranSouth 500 here at Darlington. Green flag is out. And it looks like Rusty Wallace, he's going to jump out to a lead. Elliott to 2nd. Martin sort of taking a back seat here. Looks like he's going to try for the 3rd position. He's got a decent shove here from number 25, Tim Richmond. Look at Schrader. He's trying to power out on the outside of Martin here for the 3rd spot. I think he's going to get it. And it looks like, yes, he will. Ken Schrader will overtake the 3rd position in an impressive power move, as maybe the inside line is really not the place to be right now. Alan Kowicki moves into the 4th position. Dale Earnhardt might try for 5th here, trying to get around Mark Martin. Can Martin clear him? No, Martin cannot clear him. Here comes Earnhardt on the outside of Martin. Yeah, and Earnhardt's got him. So the inside line clearly struggling to start this race, as the outside line really prevailed there, with the exception, of course, of Rusty Wallace, who was able to go into corner number 1. You know, though, that's the tight corner here at Darlington. The egg-shaped course. But that is the tighter of the two corners is turns 1 and 2. And oh man, we got a 3-wide battle here between Tim Richmond, Ernie Irvan, and Phil Parsons, as Parsons is desperately trying to hang on up there. 3-wide does not work well here at Darlington. Is not really where you want to be. Phil Parsons trying to clear Ernie Irvan on the outside lane. We already know that that inside lane is not the place you want to be. And Parsons will be able to do it with ease. Maybe even Ricky Rudd will be able to gain a spot here. And it looks like he will. So Ricky Rudd able to pick up a position as well over the 4 of Irvan. Sterling Marlin wanting to pick up a position now. He's going to try the outside on Irvan. He's got it. Davey Allison going to try to pass on the outside. Looks like if you're on the inside, you're hung out to dry. Oh, there, maybe the inside lane moving a little bit. And it looks like Irvan's going to be able to hold off Davey Allison. We have Jeff Bodine. He was unable to get anything done underneath the 28 car. Meanwhile, up towards the front of this pack, it's still the same 5-car train. Right now, it is Rusty Wallace in the lead, Bill Elliott second, Ken Schrader third, Alan Kowicki fourth, and Dale Earnhardt in fifth. And Earnhardt seems to be fading a little bit from this pack here. Alan Kowicki trying to find a way around Ken Schrader. Can't quite do it. And it looks like Bill Elliott's also trying to find a way around Rusty Wallace. We'll see if Elliott's able to find a line that will be able to get him the lead here. Rusty Wallace, he's just looked so strong ever since he went to that 2-car. You know, Raymond Beadle, legendary drag race owner, NHRA. You know, he did a fantastic job coming over here to NASCAR. He used to own Tim Richmond's car. Then he owned Rusty Wallace's car. Wallace's second year with him, he almost won the championship. That was the amazing 1998 championship battle, which honestly, the last 3 years have all featured great championship battles. And 1988 was a phenomenal one, which was basically, if you weren't Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, or Tim Richmond, you can get the hell out. They combined for 23 of the 29 wins that happened this year. That year, anyways. And that was just an impressive run. Rusty Wallace would end up finishing third in that championship. But it was just an incredible ride from start to finish that Dale Earnhardt was eventually able to win. 1989, of course, we all know what happened that year. Bill Elliott and Tim Richmond had the championship battle of a lifetime, which Tim Richmond just barely fell short. 2 points was what made the difference in that championship battle. And then last year was characterized by Alan Kowicki and his ability to just be consistent all season and to snipe the lead away from people. Now, he shows that he still had this ability. Just remember last week at Atlanta, he made a last lap pass on Ken Schrader in order to win the race. He led only 1 lap, but it was the last one, and that was the one that counted. Ken Schrader, he's still working on it, to say the least. You can see these top 5 cars, they have really pulled away from everyone else. And now Tim Richmond, he gets alongside of Mark Martin here. We'll see if Tim Richmond will be able to take the position away from Martin. Don't know if that's the corner that he's going to be able to do it in. Turn 3 and 4. The high lane's usually the preferred line there. And Martin just accelerates off of turn 4 and beats him. And that's just how difficult it is to make a pass at this track. Everyone runs kind of right in the middle, so you can't go underneath and you can't go up high. You don't want to go up high because you have a greater chance of running into that wall and earning your Darlington stripe. You don't want to do that. Obviously, you don't want to damage the car. But at some point, you got to be like, all right, I'm going for this position. So here you see Sterling Marlin. This is on the outside edge of the top 10. Sterling Marlin in 10th. Ernie Irvan 11th. Davey Allison in the 12th position. Davey Allison, he's really yet to break through so far. We've all been wondering, when is Allison going to break through? When is Allison going to break through? When is Allison going to break through? And his counterpart, Alan Kowicki, he broke through last year, won the championship. So now everyone's really asking, all right, he won that Michigan race as a rookie in 1987. What is he going to do now? When is Allison going to break through? And he just hasn't yet. Ever since that win at Michigan, he's gotten basically nothing done. And it's been kind of a disappointment for Davey Allison, and he knows it. He knows all of the attention and pressure is on him to finally start winning races again for that 28 crew. But so far, Davey Allison has struggled, to say the least. Not exactly what you would expect. Right now, Phil Parsons, he seems to be putting together a fantastic run. Right now in the 8th position. He really does love Darlington. He's got a couple of really good finishes at Darlington before. So it's unsurprising to see Phil Parsons up this high in that number 1 machine. As we go back up to the lead battle. Positions still haven't really changed. Elliott is still trying to find a way around this 2 car. Oh, I don't think, as with most races, you know, you're really not going to see a ton of battling until you start seeing the lap traffic. Now, we've got a position battle for 3rd. No, we don't. Now, we'll figure out where Dave Marcus is here. He's the last driver. He's position number 42. He's just coming to the start and finish line now. And Rusty Wallace is halfway through turn number 3 and 4. So you got to figure it'll probably be another 5-6 laps maybe before these guys start running down lap traffic. Darlington, of course, a little bit more than 1 1/3 miles long. An odd shape and an odd distance for an oval. Of course, the turns are also banked at different degrees. There are so many things that make Darlington such a challenging track. And Darlington's, that's just the thing about this track, is that it's just so challenging, so difficult. But the drivers love going here. The drivers love beating and banging because it's basically a short track with super speedway speeds. These cars can get up to 180 miles an hour on the straightaway. Well, they got to slow down to basically 120 down in the hairpin turns 1 and 2, and sometimes even slower than that. You know, it all depends on what the tire wear is and how strong the car is and the temperatures and all that stuff. But you're talking about a track where these drivers will easily go 180 on the straightaway, but they'll be slowing down underneath 150, 140 in turns 3 and 4 and under 120 in turns 1 and 2. So that's the reason why this track kind of has a short track atmosphere, despite definitely being a super speedway. Man, Kowicki really wants around that 5 car, but there's just no good openings for him to get through. It's just such a difficult track to make a good pass on. And these cars are just so equal that it's just difficult. You got to figure by the time you finally figured out, okay, I want to pass this guy and this guy and this guy, you got to figure that they'll eventually run out their tires. Now, Elliott dove to the bottom there, trying to find any kind of a run he can get on that 2 car. Elliott's just not been able to get it done, although you can argue that Elliott's been the fastest car. You take a look at the fastest laps, though. Fastest car, it's actually Dale Earnhardt in that 3. Maybe maybe we'll get some kind of a position change here as Alan Kowicki goes to the outside of Ken Schrader. Kowicki will get the 3rd position away from Schrader. So there you go there. Alan Kowicki now just took the 3rd position away from Schrader. We'll see if Alan Kowicki is able to run down the 2 leaders. We should be seeing lap traffic in about 3 more laps. Should be noted that the lap times have fallen off absolutely significantly at this track, just to show you how rough this track is on tires. The best lap that Rusty Wallace has set down, 157.253 miles per hour. The last lap that Rusty Wallace just pulled, 143.714 miles an hour. A 14 mile per hour drop off. If you can believe that. The average speeds around this track have dropped off a full 14 miles per hour since the drop of the green flag in roughly 27 laps. It is a crazy tire fall off at this track. This track at Rockingham and to some extent Atlanta, they're all known for having high tire wear rates. It's basically the thing that the tracks are known for. And this is just no exception. You gotta imagine pit stops will be coming soon. This is typically a 2-stop race. The first pit will usually come sometime in the 30s, and the next pit will come sometime in the 60s. And that's usually what the drivers want to stick to. It evenly spreads out those pit stops. And now here we go with the lap traffic. Lap traffic will always make or break your race, no doubt about it. Elliott, oh man. There's a lot of apron runoff on this track, and Elliott was about to use it. Got to be very careful using that runoff, though. Alan Kowicki might actually gain himself a position here. He's going to try to go on the outside of Bill Elliott. And it looks like, yes, Alan Kowicki's moved into the 2nd position. Or maybe he hasn't. Alan Kowicki maybe in a really bad spot. They're going 3 wide for the 4th position. Where did Tim Richmond come from? Oh, nobody gives an inch. Schrader right up against the wall. They're still 3 wide. Oh, they touch coming off of turn number 4. That is a heart-stopping moment right there. Ken Schrader somehow keeps his position after all of that. Look at Phil Parsons. He's trying to make a move. Oh, he's down on the apron. That's going to slow him down a bit. But Dave Marcus is in the way of Mark Martin. I don't think Martin will be able to take the position, but he does. And Tim Richmond will go right around his teammate, Ken Schrader. And meanwhile, the battle for the lead is still number 2 Wallace in the lead with the number 9 of Bill Elliott right behind him. And Alan Kowicki right behind the two of them. Tim Richmond will move up into the 4th position. Ken Schrader falls back to 5th, and he's got a lot of very fast drivers right behind him. Earnhardt trying to look down low on Schrader. Martin trying to take the high lane. Man, this is dicey. People trying to find a good way around Greg Sachs. Earnhardt goes down to the inside, trying to pass Ken Schrader on the inside lane. Will he be able to get it done? Schrader fighting back on the outside. Schrader cannot get around Earnhardt. Earnhardt will keep the position. So Earnhardt to 5th. That sends Schrader all the way back to the 6th position. And now look at this. The front 4 guys are now all right with each other, as Tim Richmond has really been able to catch right back up. And as we continue to see here we go. Phil Parsons trying to get a position away from Mark Martin. Looks like Parsons will be able to do that, so move Parsons back into the 7th position. That's actually a position defense there by Phil Parsons. I'm sorry, he was in 7th. Martin was trying to pass him, and he defended it. Meanwhile, Bill Elliott has pulled down on a pit road. First driver to do so here on lap number 36. Kowicki trying to find a way around Rusty Wallace. Oh, that's dicey. Tim Richmond trying to fit his way through the middle. Actually, they're all coming down pit road. So Rusty Wallace stays out. Alan Kowicki, Tim Richmond, Dale Earnhardt. And it looks like Ken Schrader, Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin, Ernie Irvan all coming down on pit road. Your leader is still Rusty Wallace. Oh! Something happened there with Jeff Purvis. And it looks like he's going to miss pit road. One of the tough things about this track is that there are 2 pit roads, a front stretch pit and a back stretch pit, and you have to be aware that both pits are being used. And it looks like Davey Allison's going to stay on the track, collect a check of 5 bonus points. Sound strategy to say the least, but if you want to see the difference between old tires and new tires, look at Dick Trickle in the 66. Just go right around them. It's a massive difference between old and new tires. Whoops. And here you could see a battle going on between Tim Richmond and Ken Schrader. Man, Schrader was just in a bad spot there. Ted Musgrave, one of the rookies this season, trying to get out of the way. And you can see where Wallace comes back on. Clearly staying out that extra lap did not help him. And the biggest benefactor seems, I think Dale Earnhardt's got the lead. We'll see what happens when all of the... No, Alan Kowicki. Yeah, there's Kowicki in the 7. Alan Kowicki is your leader. Another great pit stop here by this 7 crew, proving that they are absolutely championship worthy. Great job by the 7 crew getting these guys back out there and into the lead for the first time today. This is exactly what makes a championship team, and they're proving that they were worthy of that 1990 championship. This is definitely not a fluke. Alan Kowicki is an owner-driver. He's definitely one of the best drivers out there, and he's got one of the best cars out there. He just finds ways getting to the front, and this is just more proof of it. So great job once again to this 7 team. You can see everyone trying to get around Dale Jarrett. He's in the 32 car. Dale Earnhardt's found a way to get right to the back of the 7. Will Earnhardt try to make a pass on the outside here? Yes, he will. And there he goes. Earnhardt to the lead here at Darlington. And that was just a great move by a 3-time champion. I mean, what else can you say? Dale Earnhardt, your new leader here at Darlington. He just caught Alan Kowicki napping. He was trying to get around Dale Jarrett. And Earnhardt just pulled the right move at the right time. He knew exactly what he was doing. Earnhardt did a phenomenal job there. And like I said, he's a 3-time champion of the sport, and there's a very good reason why. He's definitely one of the best drivers out there. No doubt about it, he's got a great team behind him. But he's also just right up there with one of the best drivers in the sport, period. And Alan Kowicki might try to get the lead back here from Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt keeping the pressure on. He'll keep the lead, and now Elliott's going to try for second, which I bet Elliott is going to be denied for. Indeed he is. Dale Jarrett is still on the lead lap in the 26th position. Now Earnhardt's finally trying to put a good move here on the 32 car. It looks like he will. So Earnhardt around Dale Jarrett. And that'll allow him to get a little bit of distance here. Ted Musgrave is still in front of Ken Schrader and Tim Richmond. And look at this move. Will Tim Richmond be able to pass his teammate here? Maybe not. Richmond's unable to do it. They're still side by side, though. No, they're not. Schrader cleared them. Elliott trying to find a way around Dale Jarrett. It's not exactly working for him right now. Alan Kowicki trying to run down Dale Earnhardt. Who honestly put a fantastic move down on the 7 car to take the lead. You can see he gets around Marcus with ease. Let's see if Alan Kowicki is able to get around him with as much ease. Nobody has retired from the race yet so far. It's been a caution-free TranSouth 500. Sometimes pit stops can get a bit messy, and we did see a little bit of a scuffle happen earlier on in this race with Jeff Purvis trying to get down pit road, and he ends up missing it. But other than that, it's been a good, clean race so far. And it looks like Schrader and Richmond will both get around rookie Ted Musgrave there. And speaking of rookies, well, we'll see where our rookies are running so far. So far, the best rookie in the field. See if I can find. I'm going to have to scan the standings. I'm pretty sure that right now Ted Musgrave is actually the best performing rookie in the field right now in the 28th position. It does appear that way. Other rookies include, see if I can even find them. Wally Dallenbach, but he's in the 33rd position. Stanley Smith in the 34th position. And Bobby Hamilton in the 36th position. And that's where all the rookies are running right now. 3 of the rookies are just running right here. Wally Dallenbach, Stanley Smith, and Bobby Hamilton are stuck in the mid-30s right now. So right now you'd have to say that props to Ted Musgrave here being up in 28th of not being too far one lap down. So that's how the rookies are running so far. We are a little bit past halfway here at the TranSouth 500 at Darlington International Raceway. The driver that's led the most laps so far in this race is Rusty Wallace and will continue to be for a while. He dominated the first part of this race. Him and Elliott started on the front row. They pulled away. But then pit stops happened. Pit strategy ended up coming into play. Rusty Wallace wanted to stay out an extra lap, which I kind of question because now he's back in the 6th position because of it. And the first driver and the driver to lead everyone off pit road was this guy, unsurprisingly, the number 7 of Alan Kowicki. Now, Alan Kowicki had a great pit stop, a great strategy, and he led for a couple of laps before this guy, 3-time champion, Dale Earnhardt, ended up just zooming on the outside of him, and it's been all Earnhardt since then. He has checked out on the field since getting the lead, and we said earlier on that Earnhardt does have the fastest car, and it's really been a while because Earnhardt really struggled last year in 1990. He only came away with those 2 wins, and that was it. And he wanted to get some good momentum going into 1991, and right now Earnhardt trying to return back to championship caliber form, which we really haven't seen, which we really didn't see last year, but now maybe Earnhardt's having a little bit of a resurgence as he's really starting to check out on the field here at Darlington. And that's pretty much been the race so far. There aren't too many positions up for grabs right now. Probably the best position battle right now is for the 10th spot, and that is with Mark Martin in the 6th and Davey Allison in the 28. Now, we've already documented Allison's struggles over the past few years, but let's not forget either that, Mark Martin may be a little bit of a disappointment, but you got to say, he's got an amazing super speedway package in that 6 car, and he seems to be doing phenomenally on them. Any of those 2-mile and up tracks, and Mark Martin's just been great at it, but he's sort of struggled on the 1.5 and intermediates like this track in Atlanta and Charlotte. And he's also struggled a bit on the short tracks as well, and it's really shown in the standings. Even though he's got that win at Richmond, it really has not shown up in the standings. And Mark Martin, maybe with a little bit of a disappointing season last year, just got shuffled outside of the top 10. And Martin, along with Earnhardt, really thinks he's got something to prove going into 1991. Got to remember that this is still a relatively new team. only came into existence in 1988. So there's definitely some kind of a learning curve here. But so far, Mark Martin seems to be doing okay in the 6, but nothing that shows brilliance, to say the least. If we take a look here, it looks like Tim Richmond got around his teammate Ken Schrader. I've already talked about what's gone on with Ken Schrader so far this season. He's led more laps than any other driver, and that's likely to stay the case for the end of this race. And he's been up towards the front pretty much the entire race, but just hasn't been able to close one out. He went winless last season in a little bit of a disappointment, but Schrader was hoping to bounce back this year, and he showed promise. He's been fast in that car. He's been very fast in that 5 car. He's just been a couple yards short, and he just needs to get some momentum on his way, and I'm sure he'll rattle off 2 or 3 straight wins during the middle of the season. Once he gets that confidence going, Schrader's going to be one tough doggy to beat. Now you kind of see maybe the new age here with Alan Kowicki potentially replacing Rusty Wallace. But you remember the big 4 from 88. Well, right now they are 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 6th. So that was the big 4 from 1988. And every once in a while, you'll see all 4 of them just put together a stellar performance in the same race. And then you realize back in 1988, these were the top 4 in basically every single race that year. That was the top 4. And it was a phenomenal race between those 4 drivers. The entire season, it was just, wow. Oh, you were impressed. And now Ken Schrader trying to potentially get that position back from teammate Tim Richmond. Should be noted that Earnhardt is gone. He is way out in front, almost a 6-second advantage over second place Alan Kowicki at this point. So a very, very impressive pulling away here that Dale Earnhardt's done. It looks like he's well on his way to a dominant win here at Darlington. He crosses the line, 30 laps to go. We'll see if he's able to hang on. Though I think he's beyond the realm of pit strategy, reeling him in. 6 seconds is just such a long time. That's a quarter of a lap, basically, at this track. So Earnhardt is really, really far ahead. Well, more like 7 seconds is a quarter of a lap, but 6 seconds is almost there. Meanwhile, here's a good battle. This is all for position here. 1, 22, 26, 28. That is all for position. 7th place, Phil Parsons. 8th place, Sterling Marlin. 9th place, Ricky Rudd. And 10th place, Davey Allison. All right next to one another. Obviously, the 32, the 52, and the 55 are not for position. Well, actually, the 55 and the 32 is for position, but that's 1 lap down. The 52, Eddie Bierschwell's car, that is also for position. So you got 2 battles going on. You've got the battle between the 55, the 32, and the 52. Those cars are all 1 lap down, but that's all for position. And then you have the lead lap battle between the 1, the 28, the 26, and the 22, and that's all for position. So it's always interesting to see that clash start to come into play when you got two sets of drivers having their own battle and being in the same part of the track. Some people, like these lead lap cars, they're battling for 4 points. The cars that are lapped down, they're battling for 3 points, but they still want every single position, obviously. Seems like Davey Allison's his car's been slowly getting better. He was outside the top 10 for a long time. And then he slowly got into the top 10. Now he's in the 8th position, knocking on the back door, 7th. He seems to be having a very good run so far. '28 is looking for any way around Phil Parsons he can find. Davey Allison really all over the back bumper of Phil Parsons right now. And he's filling up every square inch of that rear view mirror. Oh, don't worry. Sterling Marlin's right there, too. That don't make anything any easier. Allison trying to be aggressive. He can't get it done, though. You could tell he wants that position bad. Pit stops are likely to start soon. So keep an eye on that as we're now watching the battle for the second position. Alan Kowicki in second, Bill Elliott third, Tim Richmond fourth, as Richmond looks like he's got a very fast car in his own right. Looking at the fastest lap charts, it's still Earnhardt by a pretty significant margin, might I add. Over a half a mile an hour faster over Bill Elliott. And then Alan Kowicki, Tim Richmond, Ken Schrader, Rusty Wallace are pretty much all right on top of each other. And then it goes Mark Martin, Phil Parsons, Sterling Marlin, believe it or not, and then Ricky Rudd. Sterling Marlin is in the 18th position, so he's, despite having one of the fastest cars, maybe they made a bad adjustment during the pit stop. I'm not 100% sure, but clearly whatever they did to the car was bad, and they need to turn it back because Sterling Marlin is not looking good in that 94 car right now. Not Sterling Marlin. Terry Labonte is in the 94 car. My bad. Sterling Marlin's in the 22. Terry Labonte is in the 94. Marlin was in the 94 last year. Now Marlin's in the 22 and Terry Labonte's in the 94. Reuniting with an old owner here, Billy Hagan. Of course, him and Terry Labonte paired together for the 1984 season, and really before that as well. But their golden moment was the 1984 season when they were just absolutely outperformed by Bill Elliott in every stretch of the imagination. Elliott almost blew a 550-point lead to him that year, but Elliott hung on for the points championship. Very important to say that you take a look at the top four. You have a three-time champion in Earnhardt, and we've got pit stops, so excuse me. Alan Kowicki, Bill Elliott, Tim Richmond, all coming down pit road. We'll see if anybody else is coming down. Doesn't really look like anybody else is coming down. Mark Martin will also pit. So that's it for the first lap, and I think Earnhardt's going to come down now. So Earnhardt pitting now. We'll see if Ken Schrader stays out for the bonus points or not. No, Schrader down on the pit road. Now we'll see what all of these drivers decide to do. The 1, the 22, and 26 all decide to go down pit road. So Rusty Wallace and Davey Allison, both of them stay out. And that'll make your leader for now, Rusty Wallace. And it'll look like a car got into the wall there. No caution. And the 2 kind of looks beat up. Did Wallace get into the wall? Try to find out what happened to Rusty Wallace's car here. Oh, he just gets, yeah. That was him. So Rusty Wallace, just nowhere for the 66 of Dick Trickle to go. He just gets into the back of him. So that's what happened to Rusty Wallace's car. He's probably going to be stuck on pit road for quite a while. Meanwhile, it looks like Earnhardt did not have a good pit stop. Very, very bad pit stop, as a matter of fact. As he falls all the way outside of the lead, as Alan Kulwicki once again has the lead. So Kulwicki is in the lead. Earnhardt's about 2 seconds back. And then you have Bill Elliott in the 3rd position. Tim Richmond in 4th, 3.5 seconds back. And then Ken Schrader is in 5th, 6 seconds back. And we'll see where everyone else lines up. Well, that'll put Ricky Rudd in 6th. Now he's 14 seconds back with Mark Martin in 7th. Jeff Bodine somehow is in the top 10 now. He's in the 8th position. Sterling Marlin is in 9th. And then you have Davey Allison rounding out the top 10 as now Phil Parsons has been shuffled out. There you see Darrell Waltrip and Harry Gant now all of a sudden there. Darrell Waltrip's actually putting up his fastest laps of the race right now at 155.1 miles an hour. Meanwhile, oh boy, we've got all sorts of problems here with lap traffic. Alan Kulwicki is basically clear of all of this, so he's going to get a huge advantage. Alan Kulwicki might win this race. Once again, right place, right time for Alan Kulwicki. He's probably going to take 2 in a row here at Darlington. I don't know if Earnhardt is going to be able, or Elliott, or Richmond. I don't know if any of these guys are going to be able to run him down in that a lot of time. It's going to take a lot because they'll tell you what, you got to get around all that lap traffic. And it's not like Alan Kulwicki's got a slow car. He's got a very fast car, 4th fastest car on the track. You got to figure Earnhardt's going to be on a mission here. But I don't think with 13 laps to go, I cannot possibly see how you can reel in 3.3 seconds in 13 laps. So bad pit stop looks like that is going to end Dale Earnhardt's chances of winning here at Darlington. He caught up a full second to the 7 car there. A half a second, but yeah. Maybe he has a better shot than I thought. Race ain't over till it's over, and that's always going to be 100% true. Races are never over until it's over. Ever. Alan Quickie's really trying to find a way around Greg Sachs here. He's really not doing a good job of it either. Can Earnhardt run down Kawicki? I mean, there's 10 laps left, but there's a lot of lap traffic to get through. Same can be said for Kawicki, though. And that's what's holding him up right now. The lead is down to 1.6. Earnhardt's got to pass all these cars. He's got to pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars here to get to Kawicki to begin with. And it's hard enough to pass one, much less 6 cars. It's almost an impossible task here. Kawicki gained a decent lot of time there on Dale Earnhardt. I don't think Earnhardt can get it done. I think Kawicki's just got it. I think Kawicki's just going to keep his position here. He's not going to try to pass anyone, not going to try to lap anyone. He knows that Earnhardt's got to push as hard as he can to get around these cars. Kawicki's just going to try to get it to the line, not wreck the car. That's all he's got to do right now. He doesn't need to drive the wheels off of it. He's just got to make sure the wheels stay on it. That should not be a tall task. He's just got to stay behind that 15 car, follow the 15 car. And that's his path to victory lane right now. 6 laps to go here from Darlington. Right now we're seeing if Dale Earnhardt can run down Alan Kawicki. He's gotten around one of the cars. And now he's got to pass yet another one. This time it's the 51 to Jeff Purvis that he's got to find a way around. How do I get around this 51 car? Looks like he's going to find a way here. He indeed does. And that 7 car is starting to look very, very slow. He just got passed by the 2. Maybe he's just taking it that slow. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I'm not 100% sure, but if you can get around that 47 car, it'll be so critical. Looks like that's exactly what I was able to do. But Alan Kawicki is running very, very, very slow right now. Three laps to go. He doesn't need to run fast. He's got a 1.4 second lead on Earnhardt. And he's got a 3-car cushion. He does not need to go fast. He just needs to not wreck. Even if Earnhardt gets to the back of this 52 car, he's still got to pass 3 cars to get to Kawicki. So I think this is a great strategy from Allen. Just crawl it to the line. He doesn't need to drive the wheels off of it. And if Earnhardt comes, by the time he's got there, his tires will be used up, and then he can turn on the gas he'll be able to pull right away from that 3 car. This is a brilliant strategy from Alan Kowicki. White flag, 1 lap to go here from Darlington. It seems like Alan Kowicki has pulled yet another fast one. He'll pull down to the inside of Larry Pearson here. All he needs to do is make it to the line, and it looks like he's going to do just that. Alan Kowicki, he's going to win yet another race here on Pitch Strategy. He's in the right place at the right time, and he will take the win here at the TranSouth 500. Back-to-back wins for Alan Kowicki. And Rusty Wallace once again shoots himself in the foot. Well, maybe not shooting himself, but bad luck once again happens to the 2 car. He's going to finish in the 20th position. You can see the full results here. And Alan Kowicki is going to end up winning this race. Kowicki. So back-to-back wins for Alan Kowicki. And you can see now that bad finish for Rusty Wallace is really going to come into play. He only has 3 points separating him and Dale Earnhardt. Ernie Irvan's perfect top 10 streak, well, that is now over. And now the points are just very, very tight as 11 drivers are within 100 points of the leader. We could theoretically have 12 different drivers walk out of the next race at Bristol with the points lead. I mean, it will require moving the heavens and the earth for Morgan Shepherd to take it. But really, any of the top 12 could walk out of the next race as the points leader. A pretty good race at Darlington, and we're really starting to see who is looking really good for the points championship this season. We'll see you next time at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the Valleydale Meets 500.